On October 12, 2025, just after 2 a.m., something unsettling happened outside a quiet home in North Wichita, Kansas. At a residence in the 1400 block of North Volusia, a 35-year-old woman, dressed in a black top and shorts, was seen walking up to the front door. It was late, and the street was quiet. She was reaching for the door handle, and that's when it happened. From behind, a man suddenly appeared. He grabbed her, pulling her away from the door before she could enter. You can hear her scream as she's dragged out of sight, struggling to break free. What's disturbing was the man was later identified as 22-year-old Daniel Espitia Guevara, her boyfriend. He overpowered her, dragging her toward a waiting vehicle parked nearby before both disappeared from view. The homeowner, who captured the entire incident on their security camera, immediately alerted the Wichita Police Department, describing it as a possible abduction. Within hours, WPD released the footage and still images to the public, asking for help in identifying both individuals and ensuring the woman's safety. Thankfully, around 3 p.m. on October 14th, the woman contacted police herself. She confirmed her identity and explained that what had been seen on video was not a random abduction, but the result of a violent domestic dispute with Guevara. Later that evening, at about 7 p.m., officers located and arrested Guevara without incident. He was booked into the Sedgwick County Jail on multiple charges, including aggravated domestic battery and 2 counts of misdemeanor domestic battery. According to local reports, Wichita has seen over 1,500 domestic violence incidents annually in recent years, a reminder of how common and often hidden such situations can be. Another factor worth noting is the age difference between the woman and Guevara, 35 and 22, may also point to the kind of imbalance that can sometimes exist in relationships like this, though there's no confirmed evidence to suggest that was a direct cause. As of now, Guevara remains in custody at Sedgwick County Jail without bond. The woman's identity has not been released for privacy reasons, but police have confirmed that she is safe and receiving support. She was fortunate to have been found quickly and unharmed. But what makes this incident truly disturbing is that the danger came not from a stranger on the street, but from someone she trusted, and that trust, once broken, can leave scars that no camera ever captures. It was supposed to be a routine traffic stop. Instead, it became one of the most disturbing law enforcement failures in years. On September 16, 2022, Rios Gonzalez, a 20-year-old TSA employee, was reported to 911 for allegedly brandishing a handgun during a road rage incident on Weld County Road 36, east of Platteville in Weld County, Colorado. A rural stretch of road that runs alongside active freight rail lines managed by Union Pacific. At around 10:30 p.m., Rios pulled over her vehicle after the reported altercation. Moments later, Sergeant Pablo Vazquez arrived at the scene and parked his patrol SUV directly behind her car.
I'm 3 car behind the other unit.
I'm right behind you, Vasquez. I'm going to your passenger side.
But unknowingly, he had stopped on the railroad tracks.
Vasquez! Hey!
Lift your hands up. Lift your hands up. Okay? Turn around. Turn around. Turn around! Put your hands up higher. I want you to set your phone down at the edge of your truck. You don't need it. You can leave it on. Come on back. Keep coming back. Keep your hands up. Keep coming back. Keep coming back to the sound of my voice. Keep coming back. Keep coming back. Keep coming back. Keep coming back. Stop right there. Get down on one knee and then the other.
I got cuffs.
Go ahead.
Good? Keep your hands above your head.
Don't move.
What's going on? Why am I being...
Soon after, Fort Lupton officers Jordan Steinke and Ryan Tomacek arrived to assist. Everything appeared to be under control. Officer Steinke handcuffed Rios, placed her in the back of Vasquez's patrol vehicle, and left the driver's side door slightly open. Rios sat quietly inside the caged back seat while the officers discussed next steps, unaware of how dangerous her position had just become. Believing the area was clear, they began scanning for a weapon.
Where are you taking me? We're taking you to the car. Come on.
Why? What?
Do you have anything on you that's going to poke me, stick me, hurt me?
No, ma'am, but can I please get my cell phone?
We'll get your cell phone in a second. Is there any weapons in the car?
Ready?
No, ma'am, there's nothing on.
There's no weapons in the car? Okay.
Everybody out in the car, come on.
What's going on? Ma'am, what's going on?
I'll tell you in a second. Take a seat.
So confused. Can I get
Take a
my
seat.
cell phone?
I will get your cell phone for you. Take a seat.
I got your right shoulder. I see a car seat. Clear. Okay, let's get the bed. Yeah, you drop it. I'll hold it. Come across. Clear.
It took her a long time to pull over.
I got a holster right here in the passenger seat.
Okay. It took her a very long time to pull over. It took her a very long time to pull over. I'm going.
Did you see her toss anything?
She could have, because it took her a long time to pull over. I'm gonna put the rifle away and put that.
All right.
She could have, because when I was behind her, she was driving slow enough,
Yeah.
so she could have tossed something, but I literally
Toss it out the window?
She could have out that window, but.
In the distance, a train horn sounded. The officers heard it, but assumed it was far away. That mistake would change everything.
Is that heart?
No, that's Tomacek. Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Move your car! Stay back!
It's a 346 patrol car where she's hit by a train. Dispatch up to 346. Get us medical emergent. The suspect was in the vehicle that was hit by the train.
Watch the fence.
Rios looked up and saw the train approaching fast. She began screaming for help, begging to be let out, but the cage inside the vehicle made it impossible for her to escape, even with the door open. Within seconds, the freight train slammed into the patrol car, tearing it apart and dragging it down the tracks. The officers managed to run from the tracks just before the impact, but Rios was still inside. She was thrown from the wreckage but somehow survived, though her injuries were severe. A traumatic brain injury, 9 broken ribs, fractures to her arm, tibia, hip, and sternum, and internal injuries that required multiple surgeries and long-term rehabilitation. Later investigations revealed that Sergeant Vasquez had violated department policy by parking on active tracks without properly securing the scene. Officer Steinke, who chose to use Vasquez's vehicle instead of her own, ignored standard detainee safety protocols, which require officers to place suspects in safe and stable areas away from hazards. Officer Tomacek, who assisted at the scene but did not physically place Rios in the vehicle, faced no charges. Rios eventually pleaded no contest to a reduced misdemeanor related to the road rage incident, but she also filed a civil lawsuit against the involved officers and their departments. In June 2024, she received an $8.5 million settlement divided between the towns of Platteville and Fort Lupton to support her lifelong medical care and therapy needs. The case led to several policy changes. Platteville police introduced new hazard checklists for all vehicle stops, while Fort Lupton police improved interagency coordination coordination to prevent similar incidents. During later testimony, Steinke said she experienced tunnel vision, believing she was dealing with a potential armed threat, but prosecutors pointed out that once Rios was detained, there was no active danger, just a tragic oversight.
It was incredibly dark. I was miles outside of my jurisdiction. I was fairly certain that that particular stop was going to end in a gunfight. I trusted that Sergeant Vasquez's vehicle was in a secure location at that time.
When the train hit, the officers had already moved nearly 50 feet away. Rios's screams went unheard. As of now, all criminal cases are closed. Vasquez completed his probation in 2024, and Steinke's term will end in early 2026 under continued monitoring. Rios remains in rehabilitation. Her attorney confirmed in 2024 that she still cannot work full-time because of her injuries. It was an incident that started as a simple traffic stop, one that could have ended quietly, but instead became a devastating example of how one small mistake, one moment of inattention, can change a person's entire life forever. On July 31st, 2025, what began as a normal workday for a truck driver on the highways of Tabasco, Mexico, ended in a tragedy that no one could have expected. He was traveling along Federal Highway 180D near the town of Palo Mulato in the Huimanguillo municipality, a stretch of road that locals know all too well for its danger. Over the years, it has become a hotspot for robberies, where armed groups and desperate individuals target vehicles passing through, driven by economic hardship and organized crime. That night, as the driver made his way along the quiet highway, everything seemed ordinary. The road ahead was clear until he reached an overpass near Palo Mulato, where this happened. The impact was so violent that it caused him to lose consciousness instantly. The truck veered off its path, swerving uncontrollably before crashing. By the time emergency responders arrived, it was already too late. The driver had succumbed to his injuries. Investigators later determined that the attack was not random. It was premeditated, an attempted robbery meant to stop the vehicle and steal its cargo, but the assailants may not have realized the damage their actions would cause, or how quickly one reckless act could turn fatal. The driver's name was never publicly released, and there were no reports of passengers inside the truck. However, forensic analysis later suggested that the cause of death was likely commotio cordis, a rare and deadly condition where a sudden impact to the chest disrupts the heart's rhythm, which explains why, for a few seconds, the truck kept moving before the driver's body gave out. The attacker's choice of the overpass allowed them to strike from a distance and disappear quickly, avoiding any immediate risk of being caught. Many people in Tabasco later pointed out that such crimes are fueled by poverty and unemployment in rural areas like Huimanguillo, where opportunities are scarce and desperation runs deep. As of now, no arrests have been made, and authorities, including the Fiscalía General del Estado, have not released any updates on the investigation. Honestly, the truck driver was just doing his job, unaware that a routine trip would become his last. His death was preventable, a direct result of carelessness, poverty, and lack of enforcement. It has since raised urgent calls for change, with many urging the government to install fencing on overpasses and increase patrols across the country's most dangerous highways. Until such changes are made, tragedies like this will continue, a reflection of how poverty and impunity often work together, leaving innocent lives caught in the middle. On July 21st, 2025, a stagecoach double-decker bus operating the 100 service in Eccles, Salford, Greater Manchester, was making its usual journey through the area. But there was one serious problem that day. The Bridgewater Canal Aqueduct, located on Barton Lane in Eccles, has a low clearance height, making it completely unsuitable for tall vehicles like double-decker buses unless the driver pays very close attention. Height restriction signs were clearly displayed along the road. Yet, despite all those warnings, the driver still took the bus through the route, and that's where it happened. As the bus passed under the aqueduct, the entire roof of the upper deck struck the bridge and was ripped clean off. One passenger was even thrown from the upper deck onto the road below. Emergency services rushed to the scene almost immediately. Within 10 minutes, multiple ambulances, hazard response teams, an air ambulance, and several fire crews arrived to help. 15 passengers were taken to hospitals nearby. 3 of them, a 19-year-old woman and 2 men, one in his 20s and another in his 40s, were listed in serious condition, suffering injuries that included fractures, concussions, and trauma consistent with high-impact collisions. The others received treatment at the scene for cuts and bruises, but the aftermath was devastating. The top deck of the bus was completely exposed, with its seats hanging open to the air and debris scattered across the road. Traffic in the area was shut down for hours while crews worked to remove the damaged vehicle. According to early police analysis, the bus had been traveling off its normal route, something that became a crucial detail in the investigation. Transport for Greater Manchester later confirmed that the 100 service did not usually use Barton Lane, raising questions about whether the driver had relied too heavily on GPS or had taken a wrong turn due to an unfamiliar diversion. The driver, a man in his 50s, was arrested at the scene on suspicion of causing serious injury by careless driving, a charge that implies negligence but not intent. He was later released on bail pending further investigation as officers continued gathering forensic and witness evidence. As of now, no public updates have been released about the case. The driver remains on bail, and no formal charges or court hearings have been announced, suggesting that the investigation is still ongoing. Many people have speculated that human error or even possible impairment may have played a role, but nothing has been confirmed. Honestly, it could have been much worse. If the bus had been moving any faster, or if more passengers had been seated on the upper deck, the outcome might have been far more tragic than it already was.